Namanda, Vitsanamanda, 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 Vitsanamanda. Namanda, Vitsanamanda. Let's begin this morning's service by singing the Vandana Tisarana together, which will be found on the screen or on page 7 of the Reg or the Shinshu service book. Let's sing the Pali and English verses together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhamman saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namanda, Vitsanamanda, 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 Vitsanamanda. Namanda. Today, let's sing the hymn Gasho with Amida, the words of which will be shown on the screen. Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I gasho with Amida, trees and grasses and flowers all grow in great compassion. This light shines throughout the world. I gasho with Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seed sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I gasho with Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. I gasho with Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I gasho with Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. I gasho with Amida. Nembutsu in work and play. Every day with Amida. Every moment filled with light. I gasho with Amida. Remember the golden chain. Kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I gasho with Amida. In the clear bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of the night, I gasho with Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. I gasho with Amida. The virtue of Amida's vow is equally shared by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namana, Bitsanamana, 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 Bitsanamana. Namana, Bitsanamana. Let's sit together quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you are able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight and align your head, your neck, your shoulders, and your back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes and just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out. As you breathe in, you feel energy filling your body. And as you breathe out, any stress or worries in your mind just fade away. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation. Namanda, Vitsanamanda, 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 Namanda, If you're able to do so at home, we'd like to encourage everyone to offer incense at this time. Offering of incense is an ancient ritual of purification of mind and body, a gesture of respect, and an expression of gratitude for the Dharma teachings. Namanda, Vitsanamanda, 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 Namanda, Offertory, or making donations and offerings, is the practice of dana, egoless generosity, the first of the 6 paramita perfections in the Mahayana tradition. All donations are gratefully accepted in the spirit in which they're given. If you'd like to make an offering, you can scan this QR code to visit our online offertory box, or you can make an online donation of any amount via credit card. You can also visit our website, makuahonganji.org, and click on Donate in the menu on the left-hand side. Let's read the Golden Chain of Love together, found on the screen or page 126 of the Red Service Book. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I would try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I would try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo. So good morning, children. Aloha kako. Ohayo gozaimasu. It's so wonderful to see you. How are you feeling today? That's great. That's great. Let's see who's here with us today. Put on my magic glasses. And let's see. Oh, look, there's Jai and Ison, Cruz and Tide, and Melody and Cadence, and Wesley, Sierra, Lindsay and Kenneth, Micah, Emmy, Kaya, Lena and Kaveh, and Maddie, and Meleana and Illinois, Cora and Nolan, and Tori and Benji, and Kalena and Tyrus, and so many other wonderful children from all over the world. Hello, children. And I can also see our Dharma School teachers. There's Auntie Sharon and Auntie Karen. Thanks for joining us this morning. Oh, children, we have a visitor. Who do you think it could be? Do you think it's our special guests? Let me go see. Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning, children. So good morning, children. Let's say hello to our special guests. It's the Emperor and the Empress of Japan. They've come all the way from Japan to visit with us today. Do you remember how to say good morning in Japanese? Yes, that's right. Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. So thank you. Thank you for coming. Let me see, do this way. Thank you for coming all the way from Japan to be with us here this morning. It's our pleasure, Sensei, and it's nice to get out of the palace too. And we're hoping to eat some Komoda Bakery stick donuts, Sam Sato's dry mean, and Maui specialty chocolates while we're in Maui. Well, that sounds like a great idea. And when you come to Japan, please visit us, and we will take you to have the best sushi in all of Edo. It's good to be the emperor. Well, Mimi and I will look forward to that. Sensei, we have a question for you. Of course, Your Majesty. Please feel free to ask anything. Why do your lips move when you make me talk? What? What are you talking about? You know, like right now. Your lips are moving right now when you're pretending to make me talk. Okay, very funny. Well, it's a really long story, so maybe we can do that later. Okay, let's read today's story. Well, thank you, Your Majesties. Why don't you have a seat here? Very good. So today's story is The Cool Bean by Jory John and Pete Oswald. The Cool Bean. Watch out, here come the cool beans. The cool beans. Oh yeah, check out how they move. Look at the way they swagger. Notice their sunglasses. Yow. The cool beans are known all over school, from house to house, across town, beyond county lines. In the olden days, last year, we were all one big pod of beans. We were a mixed bag, but somehow it worked. Yep, those were the good old days. And then we stopped seeing each other as much as before. And that's just how it is sometimes. You spend less time together, even though you're not totally sure why. I watched as the beans I knew so well, the beans from my own pod, become the cool beans. And oh, they were so cool. One of them could play the guitar. Cool. And one of them could draw the best superheroes. Cool. And one of them could jump higher than any bean I had ever known. Cool. And as for me, well, I mostly stayed the same. Sure, I made some small changes. I wore sunglasses. Too big. I slicked back my hair. Too slick. I strutted around. Ow. And I swaggered. Oof. I was still picked last for everything, and my clothes never seemed to fit, and I snorted when I laughed, honk, honk, and I walked into stuff, whoomp. I was an uncool bean, for sure. I started thinking of myself as just a common bean with no special skills. I couldn't compete, so I didn't even try. I'd never be a cool bean. It seemed like there were two types of beans in the world. There were the cool beans and beans like me. The days all blended together. I lived my life and things were just okay. I took tests and ate lunches and mostly kept to myself. I mean, sure, I miss them a bit, but it's not like I was going to say anything. I felt like all that coolness had gotten in the way of our friendship. And that's how it went until one day. I was in the cafeteria and I dropped my lunch on my loafers. Oh no, not again. But then something sort of miraculous happened. Out of nowhere, one of the cool beans helped me clean it up. And he didn't even say anything. He just gave me a nod. That was it. Later, I was out on the playground. I tripped and scraped my knee and maybe cried a little bit, and everybody saw it. Another of the cool beans came to my side, and without a word, he dusted me off. That afternoon, I was sitting in class. I really wasn't paying attention. I did notice, but our teacher had called on me. Everybody stared. I sat there in silence. Nobody said anything. And then, everybody just laughed at me. That was it. After today, I was officially a has-been. But then one of the cool beans stood up and came over to me. Everybody watched. She leaned in close and whispered, "Hey, the teacher asked you to read from page 32. And then she gave me a quick wink and went back to her seat. It was a small gesture, sure, but it was also everything. I walked home with a goofy smile on my face, and I smiled all the way through dinner. That day made all the difference. It was a day that could have been really bad, if not for the kindness of a few cool beans. It gave me a shred of confidence, and that shred of confidence has continued to grow. Somebody had my back. Or a few somebodies had my back. After that, I started hanging out with the cool beans again. How have you been? Get it? How have you been? Not all the time, but sometimes. At lunch, after school, even on weekends. Throughout all of this, I realized that it's not about how you look or any of that other silly stuff. It's about a wink, a nod, or a smile at just the right moment. It's about dusting somebody off, helping them up again, and pointing them in the right direction. You need a hand? Yes, please. Now that's cool. The end. So, wasn't that a great story? What does this story teach us? Yes, that's right, that's right. All things change. So, schools change. So, this is the time of year when you might be attending a new school. And friendships can change when things change. And being cool, right, it's not about wearing sunglasses, although Sensei likes to wear sunglasses. Being cool means to help other people, to be nice to other people, to give them a hand when they need a helping hand. One act of kindness can change everything. If everything you think, say, and do is pure and beautiful, the world will be a better place. And isn't that an amazing power that you already have? You have the power to change the world. And it's nice to know that someone has your back. So who has your back? Your mommy and daddy, maybe your grandma and grandpa, your brothers and sisters, your uncles and aunties, and all of your friends, your teachers, your community, the Sangha at the temple, your friends at school. Everyone has your back. As always. And did you know that Amida Buddha always has your back and will never abandon you? And that's why we're always saying Namo Amida Butsu. So thank you very much for listening today, children. May your day be filled with aloha. And let's say thank you to our special guests, the Emperor and Empress of Japan. Thank you very much. Do you know how to say thank you in Japanese? Yes, that's right. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Do itashimashite. You're welcome. Oops. And do you know how to say goodbye in Japanese? Oh, okay, well, let's ask the Emperor and Empress to teach us. How do you say goodbye in Japanese? Oh, okay, that's easy. In Japan, we say, "Jane, bye-bye, bye-bye." Okay, let's say it in Japanese. "Jane, bye-bye, 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 bye-bye." So now we'll have the Dharma talk for adults. And during our vacation, and thank you very much for giving me a chance to take a vacation, our granddaughter Melody, who's probably watching, good morning Melody, she asked me, "Grandpa, why is the adult Dharma talk always so boring?" And I didn't have a good answer for that. So I'm working on it. Melody, don't worry. So actually, I'd like to ask everyone who's watching to please write your answer in the columns in the comment column of Facebook. So why is the adult Dharma talk always so boring? Write your answer in the comments, and we'll see how it goes. For today's talk, I'd like to paraphrase Shinran Shonin in this way: the bigger the fool, the bigger the salvation. So please listen quietly to the original words of Shinran Shonin. The unhindered light filling the 10 quarters shines on the beings in the darkness of ignorance, and unfailingly brings to attainment of nirvana the person who realizes the one thought moment of joy. Through the benefit of the unhindered light, we realize Shinjin of vast, majestic virtues, and the ice of our blind passions necessarily melts, immediately becoming water of enlightenment. Obstructions of karmic evil turn into virtues. It is like the relation of ice and water. The more the ice, the more the water. The more the obstructions, the more the virtues. The words of Shinran Shonin from the Hymns of the Pure Land Masters, verses 38 through 40, which can be found in the Collected Works of Shinran, Volume 1, page 371. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Now, going back 2,600 years ago to Shakyamuni Buddha, to the historical Buddha, the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, taught that human existence inherently comes with stress, comes with suffering. It's often translated as life is suffering, which is actually only one aspect of the original term in Sanskrit. But human existence inherently comes with stress, physical, emotional, psychological pain, suffering, dissatisfaction, discontent, which is caused, the Buddha taught that this is caused by our self-centered view of reality as my ego wants it to be. So in other words, the Buddha said that life is stress. Life comes with stress. Why? Because my ego doesn't want to grow old, get sick, or to die. And no matter how much I try to ignore that truth, I know it's true. So I can try to delude myself and say, other people are going to get old, other people get sick, other people die. It's not going to be me. No matter how much I try to do that, in my heart of hearts, I know that it's true. So to end suffering, Shakyamuni Buddha taught that we must eliminate my ego. We must eliminate me, my ego. The human need to place oneself at the center of the universe. The clinging attachment to the belief that I will never age, get sick, or die. And to extinguish the flames of self-centered desires and passions. So this is nirvana, to extinguish, which means to extinguish in Sanskrit. The awakening to reality as it is, or becoming Buddha. And Buddha means the awakened one in Sanskrit. So as human beings, we're born self-centered to protect ourselves from physical threats and dangers. Our entire sensory systems are designed to protect us from physical, emotional, and psychological harm. So, for example, if I tossed you a hot manju straight from the oven and you catch it with your bare hands, your fingers register pain and react instantly by dropping the hot manju. We don't stop to debate, why is the manju hot? Or to wonder, why is sensei tossing manju straight from the oven? Or to ask, who made the manju? Right? We just drop the manju. This kind of awareness, this awareness of self, is a natural protective instinct. So the Buddha taught that the cause of dissatisfaction in human life is self-attachment. So believing and expecting life to be reality as I want it to be. In simple language, the Buddha taught that we are unhappy. Right? We're not satisfied. We're not content with what we have because we insist, it's about me. Life is about my ego. It's about me. The world revolves around me. And when it doesn't, I'm not a happy guy. So the Buddha taught that the ego, our attachment to self, our selfishness, that this is the cause of all of our suffering, unhappiness, and dissatisfaction in our lives, and also creates suffering, unhappiness, and dissatisfaction for other people. For other people. It's not just us, it's other people. So the solution that the Buddha taught us is that by eliminating self-attachment, we can eliminate the cause of suffering, and we become awakened to reality as it is. We are empowered to live this unrepeatable life as it's not about me. It's not about me. So this is the goal of all Buddhist practice, to break the attachment to the self, to achieve liberation from the ego self, awakening, enlightenment, realizing nirvana, becoming Buddha. This is the goal of all Buddhist practice. And so, where am I here? The 84,000 Buddhist paths are all about different practices designed to achieve awakening, to break free of the self-centered ego. Shinran Shonin, the founder of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, of Shin Buddhism, discovered he was unable to realize awakening by following the traditional monastic path of discipline, commitment, and practice. And through his great teacher Honen, Shinran discovered the true essence of the Pure Land teachings, the Shinshu of Jodo, which becomes Jodo Shinshu, and the practice of Nembutsu. In Jodo Shinshu, we talk about Shinjin, the entrusting heart, to live in the embrace of Amida's great compassion, which leads to birth in the Pure Land when we die, and instantaneous enlightenment in oneness with Amida. And we return to this world in oneness with Amida to guide others to their birth in the Pure Land. So Shinjin is the foundation of Jodo Shinshu doctrine, but Shinjin is very difficult to explain in the language of words and concepts, and in a different cultural, historical, and religious context. Shinjin is the transformative experience of awakening to reality as it is, through the embrace of the heart of compassion and the mind of non-discrimination, the other power of Amida Buddha. Shinjin is the subjective experience of liberation from the ego self, the experience of enlightenment, of awakening to reality as it is, the experience of Amida Buddha. Shinjin is a reconnection with our Buddha nature, and a true realization of the emptiness of self, what we think of as the self, and simply entrusting in Amida without any doubt. And now that we've had months of COVID-19 restrictions, is it any surprise that we're all getting tired of the restrictions on our freedoms, bored of the constant screaming headlines about daily infection rates and hospitalization numbers and stuff? Anyone and everyone is stressed out, of course. So the question is stress. What is it? Where does it come from? And what does Buddhism teach us about stress? Very simply, stress is the gap between what I want and what I got. Right? So the gap between reality as I want it to be and reality as it is. So reality as I want it to be, I want peace of mind. Right? I don't want stress, anxiety, and fear, but that's what I've got. I want familiar routines. I want the familiarity of routine. I want to do the same things all the time. And what do we have now? Reality as it is, disruption of routine. What do I want? Reality as I want it to be. I want hugs and talk story. I'm a guy. It's kind of embarrassing to say I miss physical contact with friends. So in Hawaii we give hugs. I miss that. In California we don't do that. We give air kisses, but that's a different story. In Japan we bow. But it's a different thing. But it's a little small, it's a minor thing, but we miss it. So, and then reality as it is instead of hugs and talk story, I've got masks and 6 feet distancing. Reality as I want it to be, I want to be competent. I want to know what to do in this situation. But I think everyone has found that we are incompetent. We have no idea what we're doing in this situation. Our political leaders, medical experts, healthcare professionals, we're all struggling to try to get a grasp of COVID-19 and what it really means. Reality as I want it to be, I'm in control. My life is in control. Reality as it is, life is out of control. So stress is really about this insight, the sudden realization that everything in my life is out of my control. Everything in my life is out of my control. It's never been in my control. I'd like to think so, but it's not. As human beings, and especially as Americans, culturally as Americans, we need to believe that we're in control, that we're competent, that we're good. We need other people to believe that we are in control, that we are competent, that we are good. But the reality is much of life, if not all of life, is really out of our control. There's not that much that we can control. Could anyone have been fully prepared for something like a COVID-19 public health emergency? And as much as I'd like to think otherwise, I'm not very compassionate. In fact, I'm selfish to the core. And if I'm being totally honest, I'm not particularly good in the sense of virtuous or moral behavior. But this is the human condition, right? So born human, we're programmed to be self-centered. Born human, we automatically think and believe and act like it's about me. And so when familiar rituals like going to school, going to work, going to church on Sundays, going to the beach, going shopping, or dining out, when these things are taken away from us, when these familiar rituals are taken away from us, we are not unhappy. We experience stress, anger. When family events and life stage events like graduations, birthday parties, weddings, funerals are taken away from us, we're not happy. We're not happy. When we're not able to move about freely, when we're not able to do what we want to do when we want to do it, right? When we're not allowed to take off this stupid mask, we are not happy. So when we are disconnected from physical human connection, right? When you're not able to give a hug to your friends, right? We're not happy. We're not happy. When we feel, when we perceive that we are disconnected from life, from all of life, from other living beings, we are not happy. We might like to insist that we're independent and self-sufficient, but in fact we know we're not, and we long for connection, human connection. And so when our efforts to change the situation do not produce results, we are not happy. We want to solve this problem and move on with our lives. In fact, we become angry and we look to blame other people for our unhappiness. And this is where we are today, just 6 months into COVID-19, 6 months into the restrictions placed upon us by the public health emergency. We're all going crazy because we're all self-centered. So during turbulent times, human beings have traditionally turned to religious and spiritual paths. The Latin root, the meaning of the word religion is religer, to reconnect to that which is greater than ourselves, to the divine, to other power, as we say in Jodo Shinshu. Judeo-Christian religions may express this as God or Allah, but to reconnect with that which is greater than ourselves, to reconnect. This is the purpose of religion. This is the meaning of religion, and this is the purpose of religion today. So in Jodo Shinshu, other power, tariki, other power, is the power of Amida working in our lives, guiding us to birth in the Pure Land. So other power is the vow of Amida Buddha to save all ordinary human beings, all ordinary beings through birth in the Pure Land. So the power of Amida to assure my birth in the Pure Land, my enlightenment, my awakening, has nothing to do with what I might or may not, what I may or may not think, say, or do. It has nothing to do with my self-power. When we awaken to this truth, the truth of other power, we say the Nembutsu of gratitude. Namo Amida Butsu becomes an expression of profound humility and thus gratitude. So self-power is, in the traditional sense of Buddhist practice, is my effort, my practice, my intentions leading to enlightenment as a Buddha. The traditional school of Buddhism and the self-power practices taught by Shakyamuni Buddha include renunciation, so giving up the material world, monastic life, living under 257 different rules, studying constantly, chanting, practice of ritual, and intensive meditation. These are all quote-unquote self-power practices, things that I do to achieve my enlightenment. And since Mimi, since my wife won't let me become a monk, and I'm too selfish to be capable of self-denial, and I'm unable to master my ego on my own, I'm hopelessly lost in this world of samsara, the world of ignorance and delusion. So Amida Buddha knows I don't have the discipline, commitment, or patience for self-power practices. And that's why Amida reaches out to me with the gift of great compassion and infinite wisdom. I often like to joke that Amida has immeasurable life. Amitabha is one of the descriptions. It means immeasurable life. So Amida means immeasurable life. It's immeasurable life. Because it takes a really, really long time for a fool like me to wake up and realize that I'm the Bombu, that I'm the ordinary being, blinded by my self-centered nature, deluded, actively deluded by my human mind, that I'm special, that somehow I'm more capable than others. And despite being an ordained priest and a certified teacher of the Buddha Dharma, I encounter myself being self-centered, arrogant, and lazy every day. So this is reality as it is. I am self-centered, arrogant, and lazy. And without Amida's infinite light of wisdom, my big ego would not allow me to see myself in this manner. I couldn't see my true self if it wasn't for the light of wisdom. And thus I see the truth of Shinran's words. The bigger the fool, the bigger the salvation. So to conclude this Dharma talk, let's return to the words, the original words of Shinran Shonin. The unhindered light filling the 10 quarters shines on the beings in the darkness of ignorance, and unfailingly brings to attainment of nirvana the person who realizes the one thought moment of joy. Through the benefit of the unhindered light, we realize Shinjin of vast, majestic virtues, and the ice of our blind passions necessarily melts, immediately becoming water of enlightenment. Obstructions of karmic evil turn into virtues. It is like the relation of ice and water. The more the ice, the more the water. The more the obstructions, the more the virtues. The words of Shinran Shonin. So just say Namo Amida Butsu and be saved by Amida. And if saying Namo Amida Butsu is not for you, that's okay. Just say Mahalo. And so mahalo to all of you for listening this morning. Thank you. Namanda. Let's chant the loving kindness metta together, the words to which may be found on the screen. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Let's all sing the Gatha, Ondok-san 2, and Gratefulness, along with Ms. Naho Umitani and Reverend Toshiyuki Umitani of Mo'ili Ili Honganji. Teachers for their guidance truth, we dedicate ourselves in gratefulness. Namanda, it's Namanda, it's Namanda. Let's recite the Shinshu Pledge together, which will be found on the screen or on page 6 of the Red Service Book. I take my refuge in the vow of the Buddha, reciting the name, I will live through life with strength and serenity. I revere the light of the Buddha. I will put my effort in my work with self-reflection and gratitude. I follow the teachings of the Buddha. Discerning the right path, I will spread the true Dharma. I rejoice in the compassion of the Buddha. I will respect and help others and do my best for the welfare of humankind. Namo Amida Butsu, Naman Butsu, Naman Butsu, Naman. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Let's sing the Nembutsu, which will be found on the screen or on page 135 of the Red Service Book. The unhindered light filling the 10 quarters shines on beings in the darkness of ignorance, and unfailingly brings to the attainment of nirvana the person who realizes the one thought moment of joy. Through the benefit of the unhindered light, we realize Shinjin of vast, majestic virtues, and the ice of our blind passions necessarily melts, immediately becoming water of enlightenment. Obstructions of karmic evil turn into virtues. It is like the relation of ice and water. The more the ice, the more the water. The more the obstructions, the more the virtues. The words of Shinran Shonin. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Naman Butsu, Naman Butsu, Naman Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Naman Butsu, Naman Butsu. Let's sit together quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you are able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight, align your head, your neck, your shoulders, and your back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes halfway so that you're looking both inwardly and outwardly. And just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. In and out. As you breathe in, think of something for which you are grateful. And as you breathe out, just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation. Namanda, Vitsanamanda, 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 Vitsanamanda. Namandos. So I've got a couple of announcements. The columbarium, the Nakotsudo at Makwa Honganji is open daily, 8:30 to 5 p.m. For everyone's safety, we do ask you to follow the posted rules. We have hand sanitizers and disinfecting wipes are available at the door. You can also watch the live stream of the Eitaikyo chanting in the columbarium every morning at about 7 o'clock Hawaii Standard Time on Facebook Live. We've restarted the virtual Sunday services and we'll continue them in September. And so we broadcast live on Facebook here, and then we upload for later viewing on YouTube. So you can watch it either way. And just would like to make a note that September 20th is the autumn Higan. It is the autumn equinox service, which is a major service in the Honganji tradition. So please mark your calendars for that. But we will be doing these services virtually. And everyone's welcome to join our daily virtual services on Facebook Live. At sunrise, we have a sunrise service at 6:30 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Eitaikyo chanting at about 7. And chanting the Shoshinge, which we have on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8:30 in the morning Hawaii Standard Time. In about an hour, today at 11 o'clock, the Honpa Honganji Mission of Hawaii presents a Dharma message. It's only a Dharma message from Reverend Saul Kalu, who was actually previously here at Makua Honganji. And he's now at the Hawaii Betsuin, and he's going to be giving a talk on Our World in a State of Delusion. And this is premiering on YouTube at 11 a.m. So subscribe to Honpa Honganji Mission of Hawaii on YouTube and click on the little bell icon so that you'll be reminded of future video premieres. And every Wednesday we have a tribute to our essential workers and healthcare treasures. And this is presented every Wednesday at 12 noon. And all of the temples in the state of Hawaii will also be ringing their temple bells at 12 noon on Wednesdays to express gratitude for our healthcare and essential workers. So thank you very much for joining our virtual Sunday service today. May your day be filled with aloha. Namanda, Vitsanamanda, 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 Nam.